Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi. Imran Khan, what's up with him? There's a lot which is in the news. There's a lot which isn't in the news that we need to see. Imran Khan today finds himself in a very, very desperate situation, and that's something that was evident with his press conference last night. His words, his terms, and his tenor was different. He was slow, he was kinder, and he did not take many names of Dirty Harry, Pakistan Army Chief, and so on and so forth. One of the things that we see about Imran Khan is that he's become a bit more desperate. Sorry, guys, this was not a very, very scheduled conversation. I just came to know certain things and try to fix in some stuff together. So I thought, let me just go live and do a little show and talk about what's happening with Imran Khan. Before I do, guys, the drill is very simple: like, subscribe, share this video, share this channel with your friends. We have it's an interesting family that is growing, 21,000 plus followers. Let's all kind of become a large family which discusses geopolitics with facts and with information. So let's begin. What's happening? I don't obviously have a presentation because this was a last minute sort of a thing, but let's see what's happening. There are a couple of news that came out, and there are two, three questions that I've asked in the uh, in the title of my show, which is: Has Imran Khan lost the battle? Is Imran Khan making a deal with the army, or what is Imran Khan's next move? Why am I asking these questions? Is because these are the things which seem to me relevant going forward. Asim Munir has been able to actually dig in his boots, and that's something that I discussed in my previous show. He's been able to actually get a control, semblance of control towards his forces, towards his senior officers, and of course to a large extent within the country as well. Let's actually dig in to see there's some information that I found. Then I will actually go to what Imran Khan is up to, what the army is up to, and some general thoughts with regards to the situation as to what is going to go forward. Now, there's a leak that came out some time ago. Of course, Pakistan is full of leaks, and there is another one which says that the army chief and the army itself was very well aware that if they did what they did to Imran Khan, there would be a reaction. Now, this is being claimed by some detractors of the army, so I don't know whether to actually take it with a pinch of salt or not. But knowing the armed forces around the world and the culture of the armed forces, they would want to do some wargaming on any action that they take. So, just the sheer factor that they had done a wargaming on this particular exercise tells you that they had planned this, which is very evident. As a matter of fact, I've taken this up twice in my previous shows and confirmed from a lot of experts and a lot of people from Pakistan as well who have written to me directly and said, "You're right." So that was interesting. Anyway, so there was a study that was done by the ISI in conjunction with the military intelligence to actually gauge what kind of a response, from where will it happen, what kind of a response would Imran Khan be able to generate with his people. And one of the things that they wanted to also find out probably were the opportunities to actually blend in with these protesters, to get in. At least that is what the PTI guys say. The PTI guys are very clear in saying the fact that there were some other elements within the protest who actually went and did all the damage and stuff like that within uh, the said locations, GHQ, Corps Commander's house, and the ISI headquarters, amongst many others, and of course that war memorial monument that they've got. Now, if this is the case, there is of course something different to this whole story. But I personally feel, if you take my opinion on this particular factor, yes, the army planned this. Yes, they did the study. Yes, they did the targeting, guarding of certain areas. For example, the Corps Commander's house in Lahore was not guarded as it should have been. And yes, the army would have also found some opportunities to create certain instances wherein they could have put the amount of pressure that they have put on Imran Khan. I called this out about I think on the 11th of May, 2 days after Imran Khan's actual arrest, and when that entire scene played out. I called this out right there, and I said this is a plan by the army where they wanted to instigate, where they wanted to catch Imran Khan on the back foot, and they've actually been able to do it. Imran Khan went step forward right into a lump of you know what in the middle of the road, and has got the you know what on his face right now. His press conference last evening was very interesting, and I'll talk about that now. he basically came out in a very mild demeanor. It was a very, very soft press conference, unlike what Imran Khan has been doing since the past some time. He was not that aggressive, teeth grinding and this and that. When I looked at the guy, it looked like his game was kind of up, and this was straight after the factor that I think the Lahore police commissioner and some other chaps went into his home. What they did there, that I will discuss, but I found him to kind of a very mellow version of Imran Khan. Why? Let's discuss. One of the things that we why I say he was a mellower version and he had calmed down and stuff like that, because he took his traditional U-turn. Imran Khan, Mr. U-turn man, he took a traditional U-turn and came around and said that, you know, it is that why do I have to fight with the army? It is my army. मैंने उसको प्रोटेक्ट करा है, मैंने उसको उसके बारे में बात करी and this and that. So he turned around and actually flipped out and he said, who wants to fight with the army? My fight is not with them. Now, if your fight is not with them, who have you been fighting all this while? So that's very interesting. Why is he saying certain things? A lot of people say, यार उसकी काफी software update हुआ, उसके बंदों को काफी पिटाई शिटाई हुई है, so he's a little scared. I think there's a little more to this, but let's move forward. He didn't take any names. There was no Dirty Harry, no this, no that. Now let me take you back to the press conference that he did after the Supreme Court hearing when he was released. He said, I have problem with one man, and that man is Asim Munir, the chief of army staff. I have an issue with him and one, two, three people. This is who is playing this entire game. He was very precise in his allegations towards the army and what he wanted to say with towards the international media. So his messaging was very, very clear that day. Now, from that day to today, which is about 6, 7, 8 days away, where he turns around and says, "My fight is not with the army." Now, what has happened? Is this a U-turn or a little more? Now, a lot of before I get into that little more is a lot of the PTI leaders have started leaving, and I covered this in day before yesterday, where I told you that he is going to look around, look left and look right, and see no one. Right? He says, "I will fight even if I'm alone," and this and that. Election aane do, what he will fight with 300. How many seats does Pakistani Assembly have? There's some 330, 340 seats. He's going to fight on his own. He can't do that. He can't fight from 340 seats on his own. He needs to have certain amount of leaders. Funnily, Sheikh Rashid, who's a ISI establishment guy, he's stepped away from the game. He's not been in touch. He's not put out statements. Fawad Chaudhry, when he was released, he was told that he will not be allowed to attend any PTI rallies or give any media statements, which he duly signed. One interesting thing is the same deal was kept in front of Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who refused to do it. We all thought he was a snake in the grass, but at least he's got a little bit of kahunas to actually stand up. For how long is another question. Shireen Mazari, who the pink haired woman, she got arrested, released, arrested, released, arrested, released. And I think again arrested after that, I'm not sure. But that's what is happening to the PTI leadership. There's left, right, and center. PTI leadership is coming out and giving statements and saying, we do not support what happened. We stand with our army. And whatever violence took place is not something that is acceptable to us. And we are leaving not just the PTI, but politics itself. That's interesting, because why is that happening? Because obviously there's some amount of pressure that is been put across to these people. Now, day for yesterday, the Punjab government, or whatever the government is there in that region, had put out and said that Imran Khan has 24 hours to surrender the 40 terrorists that are hiding in his house. Now that was interesting. 40 terrorists hiding in an ex-prime minister's house. This is a I don't know whether they're trying to humiliate Imran Khan or themselves or the country. It's not something which is very clear to me. These kind of things could have been done at the back end, which there's a lot happening at the back end. But whatever said and done, they actually came out and said, please release the 40 terrorists hiding inside your house. Now, who are the terrorists? Who are the terrorists that they're talking about? They talk about terrorists who actually attacked the co-commander's house. Now, in that co-commander's house, Imran Khan's nephew's name is there. Imran Khan's two sisters' names are there. So they've all been termed as terrorists. Funnily speaking, Imran Khan's sisters, one video came out where she's telling the protesters not to go, not to do, not to this. and all that stuff. But there are other videos of her which wherein she's actually encouraging people to enter the corps commander's residence and this and that. Having said that, everybody went to the corps commander's residence in Pakistan. Retired Fauji's went to corps commander's residence. Air Commodore Sajid Haider, amongst them, he was supposed to be a Nishane Pakistan from the 1965-71 war, allegedly. I'm going to say this: allegedly killing, shooting down some Indian Air Force aircraft. Of course, he did, but I'm still going to say allegedly. Uh, is supposed to be a war hero. He was also standing there wearing a proudly that PTI ka jhola and standing in front of the corps commander's house when it was burning. So that's Pakistan for you, right? It's everybody was there. Now, how are they identified these 40 people is something which is very, very interesting, because these guys have to be some sort of leaders or some sort of people that are very close to Imran Khan. And that is something that needs to be understood. So 24 hours was given for Imran Khan to take out those 40 terrorists. Neither the terrorists came out, and nor did the police go in. 24 hours passed by. I thought this is going to be interesting, some video opportunity for me. Nothing happened. And anyways, so I let it go. Today morning, last evening, I believe they actually entered his house finally. That's after about 6-8 hours of the deadline kind of going off. They entered his house, gave a list of 2,200 people wanted in the attacks on the army establishment or army installations. This is after the factor that they themselves claim to have arrested another 3 or 4 thousand people. How many people attacked the army establishments? I don't know. Uh, I mean, it can't be 10, 12, 15,000 people. I'm sure the army wouldn't have been able to control it. But in any case, let's leave that apart. This was what was done. I do hope they didn't find any hidden stash uh, kept under Imran Khan's bed, as we all know his personal habits. Not getting into that aspect, but let's talk about the people of Pakistan. What's happening with the people of Pakistan? Do we see protests? Yeah, we do see protests. We see protests online more than anything else. We don't see the tamasha of crowds hanging around trying to barge into things, break into things, and this and that. That we don't see anymore. Why? Have the people gone back home and said, बस हो गया यार, जितना करना था कर लिया, अभी उसको दोबारा अरेस्ट करेंगे तो फिर देखेंगे, otherwise we are all right? Does that tell you that the people just want Imran Khan to be safe and sound, or the people want Imran Khan to become their prime minister, or they at the moment are not worried about Imran Khan but are worried about their own safety against an army that is out to get them and is sharpening their knives? That is the most critical thing. They are scared. They are hungry. Remember, it's an impoverished nation. They don't have money. The 10, 12, 15 days of protests that have actually taken place in Pakistan would have brought down the Pakistani economy even further. Who's going to give money to a dump hole like that when the people themselves are enthusiastic about burning down their own country? So that's something that one must understand. So I find the people have actually taken a step back, and they have realized their fate, that listen, we can only go to Imran Khan's saving, or to save Imran Khan to a certain line and length, beyond which we will be hurting ourselves. And I don't think they want to do that any further. Let's move forward with regards to Imran Khan. But the main thing that I look at is that the Imran Khan today is realizing that there is a bit of a challenge with regards what he's embarked onto. His leadership is gone. His support base might be dwindling. He's taken a panga with the army, which is not going to listen to him. He's got some things going for him, like the courts, who's giving him relief after relief after relief after relief. But how long will the courts last in front of the Army Act, which is what Imran Khan might be indicted into? That is as per the threat given by the army. Let's talk about the army. The army has opened the field completely. Asim Munir is fully in charge, at least by the top end look of it. He's not dithering at all. He's not running around. He's not uh, desperate. The army's movements have been very precise and calculated, which again tells me that this was pre-planned. It is not something on the fly that the army is doing. But one of the questions that people have started asking is, यार ये बंदा कौन है? ये आसिम मुनीर है कौन? इसके बारे में तो कभी सुना नहीं. ये है कौन? DGISI, DGMI, Hafiz Quran, this, that, everybody knows. But he rarely speaks. I am not still heard his voice. So that's interesting. He's a guy who's quiet. I i have my doubts with regards effectiveness, because the first 5 months he was sleeping and let all this chaos brew. When the proverbial excrement hit the fan, then he ran around and started doing what he's doing. So I'm not sure if he's action oriented, but today he has become action oriented, wherein with regards to what he wants to do. Rumor has it that he put across some very, very strong words in the core commanders conference, including some colorful language with regards to Imran Khan, and he was like, "This toot, 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 toot will not be spared." So that's something which is very, very interesting. Of course, he's not very popular within the army. That's something which is well known. Why? Because he's picking up army officers' wives. He's There are reports of him actually going forward and getting a lot of these wives to leave their association with Imran Khan, leave that whole thought process within their head कि भाई Imran छोड़ दो अभी. A lot of pressure has been put on to the army officers, and examples have been created within the army officers to tell them, listen, you don't listen to those army officers who are sitting in London and America touting around and abusing the army. You are still here. Your wife is still here around me. He, of course, went around and gave some dana, as I spoke last time, CSD and this and that. So that's a cheap trick to kind of get them together. Tankha bada denga, ye, wo, and all that stuff. So what? He's going to bribe his own army. Fair enough. But what has actually happened? What has actually happened is that the Veterans Association of Pakistan, which was a quiet, compliant organization, is unhappy about women being hit. The interesting thing here is what the Pakistani army used to do in Balochistan, in KPK, or in Azad Kashmir, as per what they say. It's not Azad Kashmir. It will be Azad Kashmir when it actually comes back to us, and it will be called Kashmir. So in their Azad Kashmir and Balochistan and KPK and all that stuff, the forced disappearances, the way the army behaves with the people has been replicated for the first time in history in Punjab. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to have a ripple effect going forward. Currently, the people will just back off and keep quiet because they're going to be scared. They're going to say, okay, they're touching our women. It doesn't normally happen in Pakistan. If it's happening now, it's going to set a precedent for the future. You have a prominent journalist and some other people. As a matter of fact, that Imran Khan's namesake, uh, I don't know. I've not seen his YouTube videos and this and that. It's supposed to be pretty popular within Pakistan, but his disappearance, and his father's words in the courts have actually resonated amongst a lot of people. What he said was, "You can hang me because my son's habit of telling the truth was something that I gave." Now that's a very strong statement for a father to give, standing in a courtroom asking for justice for his own son. Very, very interesting. Very, very, it's terrible. Let me just say that. But that's the reality of Pakistan. So as I was saying, the SOPs that the Pakistani army was following in the other far flung regions away from Punjab have been brought into Punjab, have been brought into Karachi, have been brought into the mainstream cities to control the population. Now, for the first time, the population is realizing what the people of those other provinces have been going through. And we also see references to 1971 and this and that, which I will discuss. Now, late last night, or last evening, family members of a former chief of air staff, a chief of army staff. Let me repeat that. Family members of a former chief of army staff, Nawaz Ghanjua, were picked up from Lahore Cant because his granddaughter is a very pro Imran Khan PTI activist. Activists, right? She's a benefit. She's a beneficiary of the system. Now she's fighting against the system. There was no arrest warrants. There was nothing. A lot of the veterans in Pakistan have actually voiced out their bad opinions and their regret with regards to what has happened. Tried it on Twitter. A lot of the tweets that I wanted to refer to have now been deleted. But in any case, I did see a lot of pushback from the veterans community pushback from people abroad that this is crossing a line. If you're going to pick up the family members of a former army chief, there's a problem. Remember, the Pakistani army sticks together. Whatever the case is, they stick together. And that's the lesson that they wanted to actually push across. But when they do stuff like this, there's going to be a problem. Let me just say this: Asim Munir has bowled a googly in front of Imran Khan. The ball is left his hand. Imran Khan knows, you can see it in his eyes, that he's not going to be able to make contact with this ball. And there's a chance that Imran Khan might just be out. Right? Which brings me to the conclusion of what's actually happening there. As I said, this is going to be a chota sa update, not very long, because I want, this is not a full on live session that I wanted to do. Generally, what's happening is Imran Khan, in his takreers, in his speeches, has been raising the question of Bangladesh. What actually happened there? Bangladesh is a biggest weak, dukti nerves of the Pakistani army, where they don't like it being referred and they don't like it being spoken about. The investigation report and this and that was not being put out in Pakistan. It is banned in Pakistan. Since he had raised it some time ago, the people on Twitter today have started mocking the army with regards saying, and guys, this has been copied from India, this is a pan to 3V army. I've read this multiple times. It's a terrible, terrible thing to say to your army, but that's exactly what is happening. They are referring to the factor that 93,000 of you guys enjoyed in India and came back. They're not saying you surrendered, they're saying you enjoyed yourself there. You didn't want to fight, you don't have the courage to fight. Some people have, as a matter of fact, referred to Balakot. Some people have referred to Abhinandan's incident, where no straight thinking Pakistani would actually accept an F-16 being shot down, but they are saying that. It's very interesting the way that the people's narrative is changing about their army. Previously, it was respect and they would follow the army. Today, it is danda, that's why they will follow the army. But the recrimination and the disdain of the name of the army will continue, will stick with Asim Munir. And Asim Munir will be known as the person who dug out old graves of the army and brought it out into the public domain. So that's something which is very, very interesting as a development with regards to the impression of the army amongst the people. It may be a few, but understand one thing, this is like a virus, it'll spread. Right? When people start talking about this, when the stories of these excesses come out into the public domain, understand I have a certain amount of access that a lot of the regular Pakistanis may not have. Their internet is off and a whole lot of other things are there. They might not have the kind of access of information that I have today with regards to getting me or anybody else sitting in India for that matter. I'm not saying I have the best information or not. That's your choice to judge. Coming back to the subject, they will not have the kind of information that is available to the outside world. One of the things that we also see is that the 9th May incident is being put across as a very big thing. कि यार Jinnah House तोड़ दिया. Now Jinnah House के बारे में I have spoken about in the previous episode. It is not Jinnah House. He was never given possession of it. One of his family members stayed there for 1 year. It's not him. So there's a propaganda, of course, which is being made. But that house, Asim Munir himself has said that, I'm going to keep that house as a memorial. I will have children go in, write essays about what happened and this and that. So he's going to drill this down that this sort of a behavior will not be acceptable in the future, in future generations of Pakistan that comes along. But the 9th May thing itself, to me, is a bit fishy. Imran Khan says, I never said anything. No, this, that, ego. In his speeches, he has said, you have to surround the GHQ, you have to hit the army headquarters, and this and that and the other. I was watching a video that I can't confirm of a Pakistani army, not army, a ranger probably, a ranger in charge, showing his face, by the way, on Twitter. I saw a video which says that there is a poster of Nawaz Sharif, Shehbaz Sharif, Mariam, and all that stuff right in front of the Corps Commander's house, and not one stone was thrown on it. I don't know how far that is true or not, because I'm not there and Google Maps does not allow you to zoom into these locations. But if it is true, it tells you that there were certain elements within certain protests which actually wanted to escalate the situation, which is something that I feel it is. And I'm not trying to defend Imran Khan here. I feel there were certain elements in certain places because there were gun battles. We've seen PTI protests before. We've not seen gun battles happening. I mean, some guy shot at Imran Khan. People didn't fire back at him. So there's some sinister thing around here. Imran Khan's sister and two sisters and his nephew has been blamed for the violence on the corps commander's house. Of course, there are videos which say, "Oh, nahi, nahi, आपको ये नहीं करना है, ये हमारा है, ये वो," and all that stuff. But there are also videos where she's saying, "Jao, andar jao, andar jao, andar jao," and all that stuff. So the instigators, the Pakistani army, of course, is getting the soft nerve of Imran Khan. If the soft nerve of the other Pakistanis are their women, is the same thing with Imran Khan as well. So they're putting this allegation onto Imran Khan that your sisters and your nephew are responsible for instigating the crowd that went in to the corps commander's residence. As a matter of fact, that incident is going to be termed as terrorism, right? So it's very, very interesting. Now, why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this in the past 26 minutes is to paint a certain picture on where Imran Khan actually stands, right? He stands disqualified as far as elections are concerned. He doesn't have a party anymore. He's probably contacts within the army have been identified and taken out because of the crackdown. His family is in trouble. He can't go anywhere. He was supposed to do a jalsa or something tomorrow. Let's see if that does happen. He's got hundreds of cases against him. Keeps getting indicted and relieved and indicted and relieved. People in Pakistan are sitting like this, yay when he gets indicted, yo when he gets sorry, yay when he gets relieved, and boom when he gets indicted again. So that's exactly what is happening. It's a cycle. As a matter of fact, some cases have been put on to his wife, and now the wife will also get dragged up, and this and that. Bushra, Bibi, Pinky, Pirni, whatever you want to call her. So he finds himself in a desperate condition. Point number one. Point number two is there has been a delay with regards the establishment and the Punjab area, Punjab government to actually go into his house. Why? Why is there a delay? Even when they went inside a house, they quietly went in, sat down with him, had a discussion, and came out. I gave him this alleged list of 2,200 people. Why is there a delay? Why has Imran Khan toned down his entire rhetoric? Why have all the PTI people just sidelined him? You need to ask these questions is because one of the traditions of Pakistan is to make a deal where you're stuck. You think Imran Khan would want to go to jail and sit there? I don't think he's going to be able to, match his lifestyle inside jail, if you know what I mean. He likes his after 7 o'clock activities. Uh, and of course, the certain women that he's got in his life. A lot of, leaving that aside, he's a free man. He can do what he wants to. But that tells us that he is obviously in the process of cracking a deal. And this is something which also came out into the open. And he was asked a question about this yesterday. He said, "Are you taking an NRO?" He said, "मैं नहीं जाऊंगा, मेरा तो सब कुछ पाकिस्तान में है, ये है, मेरी जिंदगी यहाँ पर है, मेरा जीना यहाँ पर है, मेरा मरना यहाँ पर है," and all that stuff. He's got 2 3 options: jail or abroad. Come to think of it, that's what I see of him. The offer might be given very clearly. Negotiations are happening, and this is something that I can very clearly see going forward. He is going to be termed, the threats are, you can be termed a terrorist, made responsible for whatever happened on the 9th of May, or just get lost. Now, that also tells you that the army recognizes him as a threat. They are probably winning the fight right now, but they do recognize him as a threat. Remember, the army chief has been receiving phone calls from the Emir of UAE, the president, Mohammed bin Salman, and some other, countries in the Middle East as well. So there is a little international pressure. 66 congressmen have signed a letter saying that whatever is happening in Pakistan and to Imran Khan and the status of democracy is not okay. This letter was given to Anthony Blinken and some guys in Canada and some guys in UK. Of course, that is Dusra Pakistan. So they've also kind of protested. The question that is coming to my mind today, And I'm going to leave you guys with this. After that, I'll take some of your comments. Is that are these courts, the so-called courts that are standing up against the army, and they're standing up with Imran Khan, are they actually with Imran Khan or part of this plan to give Imran Khan the euphoria of relief, but put him in the place where he's not going to be able to do anything? We need to look at this a little more carefully because there are multiple things coming out of here. If the courts are with the army, and if the courts know what is good for them, they might be with the army. What is happening in this particular situation? Because at the end of it, please understand one thing: the previous all the times that the army has tried to take over the country, the courts have stood by them head fast. Why is it that the courts would risk their own position and risk their own lives and families and everything like that even after they retire by going against the army? Are they become that idealistic, or have they become part of this particular game where they are able to control the situation within the army by giving Imran Khan certain reliefs and certain tightenings, a ploy of negotiation to get Imran Khan to crack a deal with the army? It's a long shot. If it's true, God knows. But the factor that Imran Khan's rhetoric has dialed down, the factor that there is no hits coming from the army, and the factor that the entire situation has been relieved and it's been calmed down, has been thanda karod, tells you that there is some back ending taking place. What that back ending is, I will come back to you. Sent a little birdie. I'm sitting in South India. It takes a little time for it to fly into Lahore and Islamabad and Rawalpindi. By the time it goes there, listens to something, sends me a WhatsApp, it'll take some time. I'll come back to you with another chota sa update about that. Let me see what you guys have to say about this. Quickly, I'll go through the comments. Will CIA and Pakistan army join hands to finance themselves with drugs? They've been doing that for a long time. Money both the countries have in their economy in dire straits. Well, the CIA is not going to get drug money inside the country. That's not going to happen. And let me just tell you that if the Americans need money, they just print it. So don't worry about that. The Pakistani economy, a lot of people say 40% of their economy is black. So what you were hinting at is quite right. But understand one thing: a certain piece of land can only grow that much drugs. Okay, so you can produce 100 kgs in Afghanistan or 1,000 kgs or 100,000 kgs. You can't cross that. So there's only finite that they can do. With regards to the haul that we just found in by the Indian Navy, 2,500 tons of it. Ouch. Yeah, you have a point. Even the Northeast, recent violence is open to the drugs corridor. Yes, Myanmar is well known for that. This is called the Golden Crescent and the Golden Triangle. India is stuck bang smack dab right in the middle of it. An update about Manipur is the fact that the Kukis and the Meiteis have started talking. They have started guarding the Myanmarese border together. So there is some movement in that direction as well. I'm waiting for somebody, guys. I've not done a video on this. I'm waiting for somebody, General Shokin Chauhan, who knows that area very, very well, to come and explain to us what exactly happened. I don't want to listen to anybody else because I trust him with his instinct about that place. Maya Jagannathan says Imran almost 7,000 of his cadres arrested. Fawad down and out. His choices are limited. Will he leave politics, country, or go up? Maya, exactly the question that I am asking myself. I think he's going to leave. He's not stupid that he will fight this. Uh, he's 70. He's still young. He's still handsome. So I think he will leave, and that's something that all Pakistanis do. But Imran Khan has taken a step further than the previous Pakistanis. I wonder what will happen. He's been unpredictable. Let's leave it at that. But you're absolutely right. He finds himself alone, lonely, with no friends and no support system around him. How does he fight elections, even if they announce it? Elimination of Imran will be an open fault line between KPK and the army. Well, you don't need to eliminate him. You just need to ask him to side off. But understand one thing, I had taken this up in my first update of this. When you take him out, you please understand he's still politically relevant. So that's going to be a pain in the, for the army as well. So it's a tough question that the army is writing. He's probably taking certain guarantees from Imran Khan ki bhai tu bahar jayega, ye bakwas nahi karni. You can't talk about this, this, and this. Just sit quiet in this thing. Otherwise, we will do something. KPK is going to be interesting because a lot of people say that a lot of the protesters for Imran Khan actually on that day itself had come from KPK. A lot of them were Pathans and stuff like that, and that's one of the biggest reasons why Karachi also keeps pretty quiet. Uh, I've been always wondering, and somebody educated me on this yesterday, and I'll be very happy to get her on a show very very soon. She's a seasoned hand with regards to Pakistan. A lot of respect for her, and I'm going to leave it a surprise right now. She's been a journalist for a long time. She knows the country. She's been there. She's met these characters. She'll be able to give us a very, very good insight. And she tells me that Karachi is dangerous. That's one of the reasons why the PPP also keeps quiet. Maya, you again say now it does look like the army let the situation out of hand deliberately to move and finish off Imran and his party. I called it. I called it. I called it. I got a lot of flack from Pakistan guys. That video touched about 40, 50,000 views. I think about 30,000 views from Pakistan is there as well. The kind of love letters that I got, uh, something very interesting. But let me tell you, this was all pre planned. This was all pre planned to ensure that Asim Munir is made legitimately the ruler of Pakistan. Right? We should always nichoda nimbu fully before throwing it nasa. Yeah, well, you know, that's true. Absolutely. Imran Khan's reputation will be destroyed, but he will live. I don't think he will get a. He will call himself a martyr and a fighter and this and that, or live to fight another day. यार एक बार ही ना बिल्ली वो बोलते हैं ना क्या पिंजरे से बाहर निकल जाती है तो फिर पकड़ पकड़ करना शुरू कर देती है. अभी वो अंदर है, उसका टेम्परेचर डाउन होगा, उसको नीचे लेके आएंगे, उसको जमीन पे बिठाएंगे, फिर उसको जरा आगे करेंगे, उसके थोड़े पैसे वैसे रखेंगे. They will keep some hold. Remember, Bushra Bibi is still here. A whole lot of his family is still here. So there's some hold. Unless and until he packs up everybody in an aircraft and goes out, that's a different story altogether. Didn't the same policies turning the people on turning on their own people resulted in Bangladesh last time due to the atrocities in East Bengal? Will it end up in Pakistan finally break up within? That's what we're hoping for. As a matter of fact, in India, a lot of us on the other side of the line within India tell us that we should do something for the breakup of Pakistan. I am the advocate. Why should we when he's trying to do it himself? Right? Okay. I think they should now try with Shahid Afridi, followed by Mohammad Rizwan. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the Asim Munir has turned out to be a solid bowler. Yeah, there's something, you know, something that to be reckoned with. John, you say who's been fighting all this time? Yeah, it's just you ask a very deep question, I must say, John. But who's been fighting actually? If it wasn't the people, if it was all instigated, who did all that and why? Why we know. Adi, I feel Imran Khan will not leave because it's make or be out forever. If he is jailed, military court, I guess there will be hue and cry from the West, especially America. The military will have to try something different. Maybe he shall be eliminated, but he won't run away. My guess. Well, it's one of the 4 or 5 guesses that I had given earlier. I said kill or eliminate, disqualify, ban, uh, throughout, or stay. These are the 4 or 5 options that he's got. Each one of them has his pros, each one of them has his cons. Currently, as far as my information is concerned, the deal is being spoken about him leaving. So that is what it is. Okay, I've got 2 more comments and I will take those and kind of end this show because it's not supposed to be that long. Imran Khan is finally throwing in his arms. His language has been softened a lot. He hasn't named the army in his last speech, is exactly what I said. Imran Khan will admit in the hospital till election date is announced. He's already in the hospital, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak. He had some stomach issue or heart issue or something like that, and he is in the hospital. So that's a ploy, मेरी तबीयत खराब है, मेरे को बाहर जाना है, इलाज के लिए. Didn't Nawaz Sharif also do that? In any case, fluid situation, lot else, lot much will happen. My little birdie is also feeding me a lot which needs to be verified, so let me just do that. It is very very interesting that this situation is actually taking place in Pakistan, bang in front of our eyes. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment. Very importantly, I never used to say that before. I think I need to say that more often. Please do comment on the videos. If you can, do support the Dev Talks efforts. The QR code is right here for that. You can directly contribute to me, or you can become a member, or send us a super sticker or a super chat. Thank you so much. Till next time, Jai Hind. Before I go, sorry, there was an episode that was done by Lieutenant General Anil Ahuja today morning on theaterization. Do watch that. He gives some very clear solutions for the perceived problem of theaterization. Everybody that I've spoken to till now have brought out problems, but he's probably the first person who's actually given a solution. Okay, I appreciate your program from Pakistan. Dr. Saab, thank you so much. I appreciate your comment as well. Uh, Please do spread the word. I don't do any underhanded conversations. I'm just trying to do an analysis, nothing else. Thank you so much. It'll be fun to hear a lot more comments from Pakistan and see how close am I with regards my observations about it. As I said, till next time, Jai Hind.